Hey, good afternoon. It is Eric Arnold here in the Sports Barn, and it is Thursday, October 21st, and we've got for you Week 8 picks. I think it's Week 8. I lose track. I mean, do you count 0? Do you not count 0? And if you count 0, I don't know. It's kind of like the elevator deal. If I start in the lobby, then is there a floor 1 or is it go right to 2? Doesn't matter, whatever. Bunch of picks again this weekend. I believe I counted up 22 official selections this weekend. Well, I'm not sure. I got to recount that. Doesn't matter. A whole bunch of picks here. We got out to a little bit of a disappointing start, losing the Coastal Carolina game last night. Hey, what can I say? It looked good. I mean, they opened up 14-0, and it looked like, old times there. And, Coastal just didn't play a hell of a lot of defense. So, tough place to play in Appy State there. And Coastal once again comes up a cropper up at Boone, North Carolina. So I think we were in the right place. Just didn't happen. I mean, you can't anticipate, the other team running a successful surprise onside kick on you. That's the kind of thing that gets you beat when you're on the, it gets you beat anytime another team executes a play like that on you. So what can you do? Onward. That's why we get so many picks. One pick ain't going to destroy you. We just move on to the next one, right? So, before we get to the college football, baseball, of course, here we have the Astros up 3-2 going home for 2. Certainly looks to me like they're going to close that out. I think they've been much the best in this series. Only a few errors, just inexplicable errors there by Altuve, from what I saw, really has kept this series close at all. Now the Astros seem to have found their bats, and I would expect them to close that out tomorrow night. In the other series, I think I told you people that I thought the value was on the Braves, and here they are, one game from winning it. And it would have to be one of the big upsets of all time. Here the Dodgers with 106 wins are one game from being eliminated. But it ain't over yet, because, the Braves have shown a penchant for choking. So, the Braves are right there. But I think it's good that they're playing again right back tonight, so they don't have a lot of time to think about it. They, just grab that hot bat and go. Don't think. Just grab that hot bat and get up to the plate. There's no number on this game yet from what I saw. I guess Dave Roberts has got a couple ways he can go here. So I guess we're all waiting to see what he's going to do. I mean, my thought on tonight's game, but you just got to wait till see what the price is if I was him, I would pitch Scherzer on 3 days rest, pitch him as long as you thought you needed him for. If it's a close game and you got to, and then I would just burn him. I'd burn him out until he can't throw anymore. If I get a quick lead, then I would try to pull him with, 60, 70, 80 pitches, maybe pull him in the 5th or 6th inning. Then you got all your good bullpen guys arrested, so they're all ready to rock. So then I would just throw them and then bring Scherzer back in Game 7 on 2 days rest and let him go as long as he could then. But that's provided I was able to save him a little bit tonight. But he could go, or he could just pitch Scherzer as long as he wants to in Game 6, if there is a Game 6. Then I don't know who he pitches tonight. I guess it's a total bullpen game. Joe Kelly for 2 innings, Gratterall for 2 innings, My thought there was I would like the Dodgers tonight if the price is affordable. You know, if it's like Dodgers 120, Dodgers 130, I would like the Dodgers. But if it's something, you know, traditionally ridiculous for the Dodgers, like minus 180, minus 190, you know, it'd either be pass or just take the Braves. But I kind of like the Dodgers tonight. You know, I think that they're going to rally the troops. That's a good bullpen that the Dodgers have, and it's going to be hard for the Braves to just pile up these runs like they have been on them. Even was it last night, or was it? I forget what game it was. It was Game 3. You know, the Dodgers made another inexplicable error that cost them a bunch of runs. The Dodgers aren't playing particularly well, but I still like that bullpen. Now, I still think that bullpen is tough to score on, and that's where I think there's some value tonight, depending on what the price is. Don't overpay for it. If it's minus 180, 190, that's not value then. So we'll just have to see. All right, college football. Let's get to it. Here's some just, you know, TV games that that are not part of my 22 or 23 selections that you're going to say, what's on TV? What do? I want to know what Eric thinks about that. Here you got Penn State, Illinois. Now, next week's the big playoff day, if you will, where Penn State's going to play Ohio State. I believe Michigan State's playing Michigan. You know, all these Big Ten teams in the top 10. It's time to get rid of some of them. Some of them don't belong. So let's get rid of some of these teams. That'll happen next week. So Illinois, Penn State at Columbus next week. Penn State with a backup quarterback. The number's 24. I mean, Penn State was not good at Iowa once Clifford got hurt. Clifford's the starting quarterback. From what I've read, Clifford's not going to play tomorrow or Saturday. Why would he? You know, think about it. If this guy's still banged up, and what I saw, I still haven't seen exactly what's wrong with the guy. I never did see the injury. I never did look it up. Whatever. I mean, why would you play the guy against Illinois when you need him a week from now in Columbus? Why would you play him? So he's almost certainly not going to play. So they got a backup quarterback who did not distinguish himself versus Iowa. Illinois keeps these scores low. I don't know Illinois is all that good. I mean, this could be a 23-0 win by Penn State, but I think you got to look at Illinois here just because the numbers are big, and it's probably going to be a relatively low-scoring game. There's just not a lot of margin there for Penn State to cover. So we'll take Illinois there. Again, not official picks here. Not official picks. These are just guesses. What do I know? Total guesses. No money changing hands. This is just for fun, if you will. Northwestern Michigan, same idea there. Northwestern has been all over the map. I mean, they've had some impressive wins, and then they've had just some horrific losses, just blowout losses. So who knows what you get here? I mean, this could be anything, but I think if Northwestern gives a middle-of-the-road effort here, 24 is a lot of points. They've shown that usually Northwestern plays good defense, and man, Nebraska put up 56 on these guys. What is going on there at Northwestern? I don't know. Just a hunch. I'm going to say Northwestern keeps it close. Again, I don't know Michigan's that good. You know, that's kind of where it's like, wait a minute, suddenly these guys are good. These guys haven't been good in 20 years. So now suddenly this is an elite team? No, you got to prove it to me. So we're not going to say Michigan's 24 points better than Northwestern. Oklahoma, Kansas. I dove into a little bit of Oklahoma web pages just to kind of catch myself up with what's going on down there. Again, when there's 10 million teams and you're trying to keep track of all, some things slip by you. So I didn't realize Spencer Rattler was 86th. Apparently he's history. They hate him. He's going to transfer next year. I think you got to look at Oklahoma here then. I mean, all of a sudden now it's like era of good feelings, that you've got kind of like when Alabama threw over Jalen Hurts for Tua, and then it was Katie bar the door for Alabama. They just took off with the better, younger quarterback. Same deal at Clemson when they had, what was his name, Kelly Bryant, and he was holding them back, and they threw him over for Trevor Lawrence. Boom! All of a sudden, Katie bar the door. So I'm kind of thinking it might be the same thing here with Oklahoma, where now they're going to rock some games now that they've got a better quarterback at the helm, and they're going to tear some people up. Kansas is bad. Oklahoma's probably going to score 60 points. Is Kansas going to be able to score 25? Probably not. So I would look at Oklahoma here. UCLA, Oregon. Oregon, they're still in the picture for the playoff. They just got to play better. And the Oregon MO is they'll do something to step on their dick and miss the playoff, and they might as well just do it here. This is a spot where they're underdogs. It's a tough spot. UCLA is playing well. I think you just go ahead and say UCLA gets this game and finishes Oregon off. Whatever they did in Columbus 6 weeks ago, that just seems to be a one-off deal. Maybe injuries have changed the complexion of that roster. I don't know what happened there. But that team that beat the Buckeyes, haven't seen them since. So we'll see at UCLA here. Oklahoma State at Iowa State. Oklahoma State coming off the big win at Texas. Oklahoma State trying to insert itself into the playoff discussion. Same deal here as Oregon. Oklahoma State's just never good enough to quite get into the playoff picture. I don't think they're good enough this year either. If they were, they wouldn't be 7-point underdogs at Iowa State. I mean, this is one of these crazy numbers where you got a team ranked, what's Oklahoma State? 10th or something? And they're 7-point dogs to an unrated Iowa State team. I don't think you need to overthink that one. You just take Iowa State. Oklahoma State hadn't played well against the Cyclones. That's not a team they do all that well against. I would just stick with Iowa State there. And then Ole Miss hosting LSU. We're going to say LSU had their big win last week, and now Ole Miss is going to take care of business. That Ole Miss is, I think they're just better. Clearly the quarterback, they have an advantage there. Their quarterback is better than LSU's quarterback. Dysfunction. Again, what's going on down there at LSU is dysfunction, and we don't like dysfunction here in the barn. I was reading some things that they're speculating why they're getting rid of Orgeron, that he's a crazy man behind the scenes. And then I'm looking at what's so crazy about him, and I'm thinking, 30 years ago, that just would have been colorful. Now we weed these kind of guys out. And at LSU, no less. I mean, I was always under the impression that the people down in Louisiana were a little looser than maybe some of the rest of us in the United States, that they're hard living, hard loving, hard drinking, have fun, let's party till dawn kind of people and have no regrets. But apparently Ed Orgeron just is too far for them, or they're not those kind of people anymore. Probably the latter. So thanks for the championship, Ed Orgeron, but now you got to go. You brought your kids to practice, or I'm sorry, your girlfriend's kids to practice. Well, that's right out. Are you kidding? My God. He hit on a married woman or something. The guy's single. I mean, he hit on a married woman. Oh, dear. Clutch my pearls. Oh, goodness. So we'll like Ole Miss there. So let's get to the real picks, the ones we actually stand behind. Okay, where are we starting tonight? Remember, when we're looking at these weirdo picks on the Sun Belt or the Conference USA, and you're saying, well, I don't know anything about those teams. Hell, I don't either. But the model is looking for a couple different things. Momentum, can you control the line of scrimmage? Can you run the ball? Can you stop the run? That's primarily what we're looking for. So if the model sees a spot where it's a team that can't run going up a team that can run, it's probably going to come down with the running team. So we'll just see how, 56% so far. We're just saying 56% so far. So we're tentatively optimistic about that. Tentatively. So Lafayette minus 18 over Arkansas State. From what I've seen, Arkansas State has one of the worst run defenses in the country. Just seems like every week they're getting run over by somebody. I think it was Coastal Carolina ran those guys over the last time out. They've had a couple weeks off, but when you can't stop the run, you can't stop the run. So, I don't know. They'll be fresh if that matters. But Lafayette has Billy Napier, and this is a guy who is going to be on the short list for a lot of these big open jobs. You know what I mean? LSU, that's the team. That's probably his job. He's thinking, that's my job if I don't fuck it up. So he's got to be thinking, I have got to run up some big numbers here. I cannot be just kind of coasting in here at 8-4 this year. We have got to pile on the points and look good doing it. So that dude is really trying to sharpen his resume to get that next big job, whether it be USC or more likely LSU. He is looking for that. So I would look here for Lafayette to run up the score. Again, you're up 2 touchdowns. Lafayette has the ball with 5 minutes to go. Some coaches would just pull it back, run the ball, and I mean conservatively run the ball, not trying to gain yards, run the ball, like RPO run the ball. Well, this guy's probably going to be trying to move the ball. He's probably going to try to get that 3rd touchdown, which would cover the spread for us. So I think that's something you got to think about there. So Lafayette. UConn. Holy shit, UConn. At home, getting 15.5 points from Middle Tennessee. I think UConn's getting better. This was a disaster of a program. I think pretty well 8 weeks ago regarded probably correctly as the worst team in the football. Fired the coach, but he didn't want to be there anyway. But I think they're getting better. They've put up some competitive scores recently, and Middle Tennessee is certainly nothing special. UConn getting 15.5. That's over 2 touchdowns from a very non-special Middle Tennessee team at home. We're going to go ahead and say UConn keeps this close. A night game. That's whatever kind of crowd they're going to get up there. This will be one of their A+ crowds. The game's probably on some kind of television. It's going to be one of the only games on a Friday night. So these kids can tell themselves, people are going to see this game. When I say television, every game's on television on some channel, but this is one where people might actually watch it. So if I was a UConn kid, I'd be putting my best effort forward for this Middle Tennessee game, and we're going to say they're going to keep it close. So UConn there. Memphis, Central Florida, I have no idea why that's there. Memphis, we'll take them. Colorado State, Utah State, again, no idea why that's there. I think Colorado State is, they played some tough teams, and they've hung in there with them. I know they only lost by 10 at Iowa, which I thought was kind of impressive. So I think Colorado State's a tough, just better than Utah State. We'll take them. The model loves Cincinnati here, and I just threw it out. Just crumpled it up and went, boo! Because I've got one of these angles that just is like, I calculated it myself. It was, no databases, no, help from computers. It was more just my memory. But I think that these triple option teams, when you're getting a huge amount of points like this, like over 3 touchdowns, I think these guys cover damn near 2/3 of the time. It's just crazy that Navy's just going to do enough to hang around, shorten the game, that Cincinnati is probably not looking to run up 60-0 on Navy. I did note one thing I saw in the news this week. Apparently now they've come out with the official report that the Navy did on the loss of the Baham, is that how you pronounce it? The Baham Richard, an aircraft carrier that burned and was burned in port. I guess some disgruntled asshole sailor set a fire on the thing. And they couldn't put it out. The fire spread throughout the whole ship, and the ship was a total loss. No one got hurt, I don't think. I don't think anyone got hurt. But I got to pay for that. That comes out of my salary. There's my tax dollars at work, and I got to pay for that ship. I hope the Navy plays football better than they, do basic seamanship. They don't teach you guys to put out fires in the Navy? Holy Christ. What's wrong with you people in the Navy? I mean, I guess I know what's wrong with you. You're led by people that are more worried about critical race theory and diversity and checking boxes on some touchy-feely crap rather than doing basic seamanship like putting out fires. But at any rate, we're going to say the Navy is going to play football better than they put out fires, and we're going to hold it close here and take the points. Navy. Let's see. Syracuse, we think Syracuse has been really playing a lot of teams tough this year. They almost beat Clemson. They did beat Liberty. I think, who else did they almost beat? So Syracuse has really been in a lot of games. Virginia Tech, they've played a real tough schedule. Notre Dame, they just played Pitt. Now they got Syracuse. I think this is just another spot where Syracuse is the better team and they're going to win the game. So we'll take Syracuse. Georgia State, Texas State, don't know. I don't know what that's there for, but again, it probably has something to do with running the ball. Wisconsin, Purdue, this is just kind of a hunch. Just think Wisconsin's better than Purdue. I mean, I think Purdue is getting, too much love for what they did at Iowa. That was just a special one-off spot where they played over their heads. Iowa played under their capabilities. It's a good matchup for Purdue, and Purdue won the game. But now here comes Wisconsin, and I just think Wisconsin's significantly better than Purdue, and we're only laying 3 points. Yeah, I think you're getting value there with Wisconsin. Western Michigan, Toledo. I'm going to say there are 2 games each of these teams played, one each, that I think is giving you value there for Western Michigan. I think most people, if I should say, most college football bettors, I said Toledo. They'd say, oh, they almost beat Notre Dame up there at South Bend. They must be pretty good. Yeah, they didn't, but they almost did. Well, Western Michigan did beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's undefeated except for that one loss to Western Michigan that nobody knows about. Nobody knows that Western Michigan beat them, and nobody knows that Pittsburgh's actually good. So that's kind of a hidden deal there. So I think a lot of people are looking at Toledo like, wow, they're good. Whereas the real team I think that is good is Western Michigan. So we're only laying 1.5 here. I think that's easy. Western Michigan. Colorado, Cal. I don't know. We'll just go ahead with Colorado. Let's see. UAB, Rice. Rice just seems awful. I like the coach at UAB. I think that's another one where UAB might be able to run the score up a little bit here. Rice seems like they give up big numbers. So we'll go ahead there with UAB. Boston College, Louisville. Boston College, again, I think that's a team that's, I don't know, the model. I don't know what it's doing there. That's one I'm not crazy about, but the model likes it, so we'll go with it. I mean, if the model likes the game, unless I got a hard and fast something I don't like the coach that's telling me to play, or the team has a terrible history playing against the opponent, I'll probably just stick with what the model says. So in this case, I don't really have any hard and fast reason to not play Boston College, so there it is. Temple, South Florida. We had Temple against Memphis, outright winner. We were real excited about that. We come back with them against Cincinnati, and I don't know what happened, but they got destroyed. So I'm hoping we get a better effort out of them this time around. South Florida's not real good. Temple's not really that good either. So we'll go ahead there, Temple. Alabama, these numbers seem incredibly high, but remember, you can just pretty well pencil Alabama in for 50. They're going to score their 50. That's pretty much what they do. They just score 50. Will Tennessee be able to get 25? Probably not. Not on the Alabama defense. Tennessee is going to turn the ball over. I think they're down. They have to be down after that huge effort against Mississippi and all the energy that was expended by the team, the fans. They have to be down here. Here you get Alabama. This is just kind of one of these deals like, well, let's just do the best we can. But remember, Alabama's got to have these games. This isn't any kind of goof around time now for, let's say Tide was undefeated. I would definitely like Tennessee in this spot because the game wouldn't mean anything to Alabama. Lose, we're still going to make the SEC title game. All we got to do is win that. We're in the playoff. Whereas now, one more loss for Alabama, they're out. And this is way too soon in the season for Nick Saban to be out. So he's going to make sure this ain't close. That's what I'm thinking. South Alabama, Louisiana-MONROE. Well, I think we had Liberty. That was one of our losers from last week. You're going to lose, right? I think we had Liberty as a 30-some point favorite, and they lost outright to Monroe. One of the great upsets in point spread history that no one's talking about. Hard to see what you're getting with Monroe. They've had some Monroe efforts, and then they've had, who are these guys? Like last week where they beat Liberty. We're going to say they're still Monroe and see South Alabama takes care of business, that Monroe turns back into a pumpkin and South Alabama handles them. So that's the thought there. San Antonio just keeps on rolling. They've been very good to us this year. Why get off of them now? Only laying 6.5. We'll go ahead with them. Think about that. They're ranked. I mean, that's a ranked team, and they're laying less than a touchdown against a Conference USA opponent. We're gonna just keep rolling there with San Antonio. Western Kentucky over Fint, Florida International. I have no idea why that's there. I'm sure it has something to do with running the ball or lack of defense. Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State, we generally play pretty well out there at Indiana. That's likely a place that either would not be sold out, or the only reason it is sold out is because there's 30,000 to 40,000 Ohio State fans there. So we've always got somewhat of a, you know, how to say this. If you're betting Indiana, you're getting or paying some kind of home field premium that doesn't exist. There's no home field advantage there at all for Indiana, none. So I think that gives you a little bit of hidden value right there with Ohio State. You know, the team that scores 60 points is seemingly back here. That Ohio State seems to, one way you cover up a suspect defense is score 60 points every week. So that may be how we're doing it. And, you know, it's possible Indiana scores 35 points, and we still might cover that number, you know. 63-35. We still might cover that number. So we'll take Ohio State there. Virginia, Georgia Tech. The model likes Virginia. I like Virginia. I think that's a well-coached team. We'll go ahead there with them. I like this game. I think North Carolina State and we had Miami last week, and I thought this is a loser. This is just a loser. But, you know, they did enough to hang close with mighty North Carolina and covered that, what was it, 7? I don't think they can replicate that big effort. I don't think they're that good. I think North Carolina State is markedly better than Miami. And we're only laying 3 here. I don't care if the game's in Miami or not. You know, that's another one of those, oh, yeah, all right, you get a home field advantage. Not really. I mean, this is not the old Orange Bowl. It just isn't. So definitely like State there. Oh, we've been going over these. I think we've had these guys a number of times this year, and I don't know they've come through once for us. I like the coach at West Virginia, but dude, you got to show me something. You know, this guy just keeps losing. But TCU coming off a beating at Oklahoma. Hopefully they're all kind of bruised up, beat up, tired. Now a team that they think they should handle in West Virginia. West Virginia is a pretty good road team. We'll say West Virginia. And then finally Notre Dame USC. Oh, you got to like the Irish here. You got to. You got the dysfunctional USC without a coach. Who's the head coach? No one knows. Is it going to be Urban Meyer? Is it going to be Billy Napier? Is it going to be Ed Orgeron? Who the hell knows? But Brian Kelly is the coach at Notre Dame, and Brian Kelly's got a good against the spread record. Plus, it's going to be cold. So you got to look at that. Notre Dame playing in the cold at night at home against the Southern California Trojans. Gotta like the Irish there. Okay, there you have that. So, what else? That's it. That's all we got. We had a good weekend last weekend, so let's see if we can't carry that over. I feel okay about these picks. I felt better last weekend just because coming off that other weekend prior to that, I was like, can't do that again. That was a bad weekend. So I thought we were due for a good weekend last weekend, and we were. This weekend, you know, I'm thinking we're looking at maybe 12, 13 winners, maybe 13 winners, 10 losers. I'm thinking that's where we're at here. That'd be all right. I'll take that. Let's see if we can do better, but, you know. Good, great. Hey, hit the like button. That makes me feel good. If you're new, hey, go crazy and subscribe. Then, depending on how you get your settings tweaked, you're notified then when the video comes out. It goes, ding, there's a video. There's a new video in the sports barn. These picks are out, so now you know what to tail or fade or do whatever. Good, 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 great. Hey, let's have a great weekend. Eric Arnold signing off.